Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that happy moment in your life is here again. The Bill Crane Report is on the air. Dwayne Weiss and I are here to give you our opinions on the news of the day, on the mores of American life.
And to just plain irritate you.
Yeah, and anything else that we happen to think of that we want to talk about.
If we don't know the facts, we'll make them up. Don't worry about it.
But Dwayne, I'm going to ask you to kick it off with an outrage.
Yeah, this was back a couple of weeks ago. I've been gone for a while, so I don't know what's happened here, but with it. But it said in the Sun Chronicle on the bottom of the front page, theater director accused of inappropriate touching. Now, in a nutshell, what it is, this lady, well, first of all, I'll tell you who it is. The theater district director, I'm not going to tell you his name because I don't think this is fair, but he's the director of I think it's called the Orpheum Theater, downtown Brockton, or downtown Foxborough, right there in the center. We've done it for a couple of plays, and they do the previous group did a really nice job in there. Apparently, they had some kind of group, and they're standing together, I think, for probably a group picture or something, and supposedly this director put his arm around one of the participants, and she says his hand slid down and rested on the top of her buttocks. That's all that happened, according to this article. Now, a year and a half later, she suddenly remembers this, and she is devastated. That's a year and a half later. Somebody, you know how you stand together and you put your arm around for a photograph and stuff? She thinks his hand slid down and touched the top of her buttocks, not groping or anything else, just went down a little bit. Well, anyway, she went to the authorities. The theater director has been let go of his position. Not only that, the paper puts in his name, his address, where he works, everything about him, with the idea that, well, it really sounds like he's guilty of something. They've convicted this man before anything has ever been determined. This is a country where you're innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until you're proven innocent, which is going on today. It went on and on. It's just a campaign. This guy has lost his job. He's lost his reputation in the community. He's lost everything for this whim of this woman who says, "Oh, I know it happened a year ago because I just remembered it now."
You're right. I could almost feel his hand there again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, and I only got three here. Tom Riley, who is an editor at the Chronicle, Ken Ross, or Mark Stockwell, they're all editors. They're not the big editors, but they are editors. If this involved them or their family, suppose their cousin, uncle, or son or something worked there, and do you think the Sun Chronicle would run this article? Not a chance in hell. But because they do it for sensationalism, and this guy is ruined. In a little town like we got around here, everybody knows everybody.
Do you know, to me, there's a couple of things here. When someone is arrested for rape, his name is published.
Yep.
In his photo.
In headlines.
In headlines. The lady, the victim, is not. Okay? Now, is that inappropriate? No, I don't think it is. But by the same token, why was this man's name on the front page?
And photo.
And photo.
And the home address.
All right? This man now is ruined for life. What happens? Now, I'm just going to be hypothetical. What happens if this woman stops and thinks about what she's done? And maybe her sister, or maybe her husband, or maybe her pastor says, Elaine, are you positive it happened?
Well,
And
maybe
she admits, well, there wasn't any intent on his part, I'm sure. And I may have moved. And, well, I don't know. All right. So now there's doubt in her mind. Is she going to go to the newspaper and say, like Humpty Dumpty, this man is broken into a whole bunch of pieces? And just like Humpty Dumpty, how are they going to put him back together again?
they won't.
Is the newspaper going to run a big
Nope.
article right on the front page and say, we made a mistake. We rushed to judgment. We should never have done this. No, they're
They
not
won't.
going to do it because their mantra is, we're bringing you the news.
Yep,
We're
regardless.
hard hitting.
Yep.
This is talk about a double standard.
And as long as it don't involve any of their people.
That's right.
And you remember back I think it was the Duke lacrosse team,
Yeah, oh yeah.
got accused of a party of what, rape or something. It's been a while.
Absolutely.
They got kicked off the team. They got kicked out of school. They got their reputation ruined. They got fired from whatever they had. Ruined. And then later to come out, it was a hoax. The woman was just trying to cause trouble. But did they ever get their reputation? No, they ruined.
That's exactly right. And what are you faced with after that? Well, you're faced with leaving your home,
Yep.
town, leaving probably the state, and starting a whole new life anonymously.
If this guy's got kids in school,
Yeah,
the kids are going to say, yeah, we know what your dad did.
yeah.
And he did or did not. We're not judging whether he did it or not. We're just judging the fact that the Sun Chronicle is judging him before he's got his due day in court.
And he's been found guilty.
Guilty.
How do they make him unguilty? How do they get him his job back at the Orpheum Theater? How do they repair the problems with his family? How do they repair his standing in the community? I got news for you. They don't.
And they don't care.
No. Very, very, very bad reporting.
Yep. But it's not just this paper. The Globe does it all the time.
Of
And
course they do. They all do.
they all do.
And you know why? Because it's all this game of gotcha. I got the story first.
Scoop.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sure.
they
Go
call
ahead
that
and
a
run with
scoop in
that.
them. Yep.
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay. Well, that starts things off on a bad note. Here's a couple of notes. Joe Biden, quote, "It is our obligation to pay for the health care for illegal immigrants. We need more clinics. Individual payers will see their rates go up." Now that's,
It's ludicrous. I mean,
yep.
the things that's going on today it's just nuts.
Michael Pillsbury is a China expert who does the talk show circuit. If you ever see him come on, listen to him. He's very well qualified to comment on affairs in China and what's going on there in that important part of the world. He said that China had put out a statement, Christianity is an enormous harm to humanity. Think about that one while you're having your chocolate donut and coffee before bed tonight. And while you're doing it, here's a couple more very important stories. Police in France are hunting for a customer accused of fatally shooting a waiter in a restaurant near Paris because witnesses said he was upset over the wait for his sandwich.
That's right.
So he pulled out a 9mm handgun shot a very serious wound to the shoulder, and I guess the guy bled out and died. They're searching for the fellow. So, I think it's better, it's just words of advice, rather than do something like that. It's probably just better to ask for the hostess or something like that and complain about the service.
Yeah, keep your gun holstered.
Right. Now, here's an interesting story. Salt Lake City. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, formerly called the Mormons, has issued a warning to members that coffee is prohibited no matter how fancy the name, that vaping is banned despite alluring flavors, and that marijuana is outlawed unless prescribed by competent doctors. Now, there has been a standing rule in the Mormon Church that prohibits alcohol, tobacco, illegal drugs in coffee and tea, and strong beverages.
Basically anything that's considered a stimulant.
Yeah. So, and they've made that out to be Coca-Cola and Pepsi and stuff like that,
Which
too.
got a pass not a month or two ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the sodas have gotten a pass now.
Oh, okay.
What I understand. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I did read that.
All right. They also warn about drinks in cafes that may contain cafe, mocha, latte, espresso, or anything that ends in CCINO, usually has coffee in them,
Yeah.
and are against the word of wisdom. So you've been warned. Another public service. Now I'm going to ask you about something, Dwayne. There was a crime.
If I don't know, I'll lie.
There was a crime back in, it was a few years ago. And there was the man was charged in 2017 of murdering an ex-NBA basketball player whose body was found in a swampy field in Memphis in July of 2010. And they finally charged Lorenzen Wright. Now, he has this fellow's ex-wife hired this guy. Now,
Okay.
she pled guilty to first-degree murder.
That's not a real uncommon scenario
Yeah.
where somebody hires somebody else to
Yeah.
bump them off.
Yeah, and she was given a 30-year prison sentence last
Yep.
month. Now, for him to turn against her, he was charged on a lesser charge. He was sentenced to 16 years in prison on a separate gun charge. He pled guilty in June to possessing a weapon as a convicted felon. So they needed his testimony against the wife,
Okay. Yep.
is what I read from all of this.
Sounds right.
But boy, they dropped a load on him with the 16 years for illegal possession of a firearm by a felon. But is that unfair? I mean, in Massachusetts, that's usually thrown out, or they allow the guy to plead to a lesser charge. Felon with a unregistered weapon, you don't see too many convictions here in Mass. on
Not in
that.
this state, because we talk a good game, but we
Yeah.
don't play a good
We
game.
don't do it. Yeah, that's
No.
exactly right.
No, I don't. The law is the law. I don't care if you were the supposed victim of your wife's wanting to have you bumped off. The fact that you're a convicted felon carrying a weapon, that's like one heroin dealer squealing on the other heroin dealer. Well, they're both guilty.
Yeah, I when I first saw it, I said, whoa, 16 years. But
You
then,
got to remember where that came from. It's not simply the possession of a weapon. It's the ex-felon.
ex-felon. Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, exactly.
He already has a propensity to commit felonies.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it seems to me, after thinking about it, that's a fair sentence.
Oh, I think they got 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Right, 2 for the price of 1.
Yep. Well, the Massachusetts Department of Transportation released a 150-page report on why traffic is getting worse in Massachusetts.
Oh, I can tell you something about that. Go ahead.
Congestion is bad because the economy is good. The worst congestion occurs in Greater Boston.
All right, so probably we're beating the obvious here.
Are earth-shaking.
Oh my God, these people, and plus these people are probably making $150,000-$180,000 a year as consultants.
Yeah, and this is a
to
blue
come up with
ribbon
this.
commission.
Oh, absolutely. This is brilliant.
Congestion worsened between 2013 and 2018.
Another brilliant finding.
I'm telling you, this just keeps this one here will knock your socks off. Many roadways are now congested outside of peak
Another one.
periods.
Where are they getting these absolute traffic mavens from?
This is beautiful. It goes on. Congestion has worsened to the point where it reduces access to jobs.
My God, such insight.
The most severe areas of congestion occurs on weekdays.
Such insight.
Then they named 3 or 4 roads. 93 South,
Of course.
I-93 North, Route 2 East. I mean,
Anybody that drives anywhere around here already knows that for years.
now,
Now, what are we going to do about it?
here's the findings and the recommendations.
There's some Looney Tunes out there. So.
Here comes the recommendation. Here comes number 1. Address local and regional bottlenecks where feasible.
Boy, that's brilliant too.
This is hard-hitting stuff.
Oh my God.
Actively manage state and local roadway operation.
What did that just say?
This sounds like going to a Mensa meeting.
It does. The words came out. They made a complete sentence, proper punctuation. Didn't say a damn thing.
You're going to love the next one. Reinvent. I love that word.
Oh yeah.
Reinvent bus transit at both the MBTA and regional transit authorities. What the hell does reinvent mean?
I don't know. They don't either.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. You're right.
They don't either.
That's the sad part about it.
You remind me when I used to be in college and I didn't know what I was talking about and I had to write a report on something. You just blah, 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 blah.
Just blow it out.
Make it look like something
That's
that's
right.
nothing there.
You're going to like this. Increase MBTA capacity and ridership. Well, the longer the train gets, the more interesting it gets when it goes around turns. We don't have the railway to really and truly support.
Yeah. Well, we saw what happens with the increased ridership when the Patriots' last parade.
Yeah.
Take the T. The system collapsed.
Yep.
They couldn't handle
Couldn't
it.
handle it.
Could not handle it. The trains were full. There was chaos, etc. Now, all those systems where they keep telling you take public transportation, there's an Achilles heel that nobody wants to address. How do you get to the damn train? The train doesn't come to your backyard. You've got to drive to the train, leave your car, and go someplace. There's no place to park in these places. Most of them, they fill up immediately.
Okay, so they say, let's increase ridership
Yep.
on these different feeder lines into South Station.
Right.
Okay, great. You
Great,
know
good
what?
idea.
That's sensational. Wonderful idea. All right, Norfolk, you've got the cars parked over in the upper level. You got them parked on a lower level.
If you're not there by 7:30, you're not going to get there.
No.
You're not going to get in there.
Then you got a couple of satellite
Yeah.
spots down by the old town hall and also at the Federated Church.
Yep.
We have maxed out our available spots to park cars. So if the state says we are going to do our damnedest to double ridership, we're going to run the trains more often. That's why we're upgrading the tracks. We're going to bring new equipment in. Where the hell do we put the cars?
One of the places in Braintree is after closing part of one
Yeah.
of the lots.
Yeah.
They're going to build something on the lots.
Yeah, exactly.
You get these nummies here talking about this. And number two, the traffic. We made multiple trips into Tufts, and that Southeast Expressway is a horror show. It's 9 miles long, and we've never hardly ever made it less than an hour.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
It's one car stop, one car stop, one car stop. But without doing a thing in this state, we could improve our traffic pattern 30% easy. And that's educate the damn drivers. We're part of the drive, we cause our own problems in this state. Case in point, the first one, where they call it the Southeast Expressway meets in Braintree, where they come together. You going up, if you want to, you people call it 128, I still know it as 95 and 93. You go right, you go to the Cape down Route 6, or the 3?
3.
3. You go to the left, you go north on 93 into Boston. You get a couple of miles from it, and the traffic starts backing
Southeast
up.
Expressway.
Backing up. Why does it back up? Because people do not merge here. They know they're going to go north, go to the Boston. So, but the southbound to Cape is not as busy. So you got 2 lanes going here, 2 lanes going here, and they do this. So what happens? The people here, they can't get in this line here and slowly go up. No, they got to go way up here, like they're going to go to the Cape, and then they get up right there. Then they want to get in.
Yeah.
They stop. They stop. Pretty soon you got their line backed up. Now everybody in this whole line has got to stop and let these idiots in.
Where it should have been 2 and 2,
And
it
merged.
becomes 3 running into 2.
And if you'd have merged a mile back or 2 miles back, everybody could have swept right through. But oh
exactly
no,
right.
you got to have
No.
all the, and invariably it's caddies, BMW, well caddies not so much, BMWs, Lexuses, Mercedes, Audis, and now I find Jeep Cherokees for some reason.
Wow.
They're in there too. It's going to be one of those 4 or 5 cars that are doing this constantly. And it's not just 1 or 2, it's 4 or 5.
I want to be first. I am important.
I'm going up to the front. I'm going to pull it. I'm going to drive right past all of you people. Then I'm going to pull in. And now you start this chain effect. Now you've got the traffic backed up 3-4 miles trying to get there. Going up the Southeast Expressway, if one lane goes a little bit faster than the other, they're changing lanes. They're changing lanes, going off from the left to the right, back and forth and back. Every time they change lanes, the guy behind them's got to stop and let them in. Pretty soon you got a accordion effect going way to hell back there again.
You know,
We're our own worst enemies here.
and I see this every day too. 4:30 to 5:30. The roundabout in the center of town.
Well, I did this morning again.
It backs up past my house. Now, I am half a mile away
Yep,
from the
easy.
roundabout,
Yep.
0.6 of a mile. So it's stop and go until you can get to the roundabout. Now, I think some point in time we're going to have a police officer up there whistling cars through, because, you know, stop them coming from north-south and just run them around and up and to the right and to the left until you run the darn cars through, then stop them and let the side ones go, which is less traffic. But, you know, that kind of thinking will
you
get
can't
me
do it.
nowhere.
Plus, educate the people in this town, particularly the people going through town too. What is the rule of law when you come to a rotary? It's not who gets there first and who's got the biggest vehicle and who wants to go through the fastest. Traffic from the left has the right of way, and use a yield to somebody that's got in the traffic. It's already in the circle from your left. Of course, it's going to go rotate this way. Or somebody coming in, they got the right of way. This morning, I sat down there, and this woman in a big Jeep Cherokee, she sat there, and I said, come on, you got the right of way. I'm waiting for you to go. She didn't know. She was just going to play, well, you go, no, you go, no, you go, you go. I was in a traffic, it wasn't in this state, it had a big sign, and instead of, we got yield signs there, but it said yield to all traffic to your left. Simple.
That really wouldn't work in a rotary. You got to yield to the right.
No, yield to traffic coming from the left.
Coming from the left. But if you're going like this,
Yeah.
the cars entering from the right have the right of way to come in ahead of you.
No. I don't think so. I think the car.
Well, how the devil?
If the traffic circle goes this way,
Yeah.
okay, the car's in the traffic circle. He has the right of way to keep going.
Yes. Okay. The guy that's in the circle has the right of way.
Even the one that's entering from the left, he's got your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. But also,
It's confusing when you can't see it.
if two cars enter, theoretically, at the exact same time,
Yep.
the one on the right has the right of way.
Actually, we got to check that out.
Yeah, I think so. I think that was always the way.
That
have to
might have
check
been
it
the
out.
way here, because I think that's part of the problem, because the people that believe one the other way. I know. Just like they believe when I first got here. First time I got in that 128, so one of the incoming roads, damn near ran in right side of my car. And I said to work, I said, what happened? They said, well, that's because people entering the expressway got the right of way. No, they got a yield sign. That means you don't just pull over and let the other guy, lock up his brakes to let you in. Oh, yes, they do. They believed it did.
Boston traffic had their own
set of rules.
set of rules, yeah. And I can tell you the cardinal rule. You come to a four-way stop in Boston,
Oh, who's got the
you
biggest ones
only
goes.
look out of the corner
Oh,
of your eye.
never
You'll
make eye contact.
Never look like this, because then he's going to go.
He's going to go. Yeah.
Whether he's got the right of way or not.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy. But
you
we're all
come to
the
stop.
bottom
and-
line is we're our own worst enemy when it comes to traffic. We cause some of it, not all of it, but we could contribute a lot to the traffic flow if we just followed common sense.
No,
Going
that-
down Southeast Expressway in the afternoon, they shut off one of the HOV lane.
Yeah.
And it says left lane closed 2 miles, 3 miles ahead. So there are not many people. You always see the fools stand right out in that lane to right up there where they the barrier makes them go over. Now everybody in the other 2 lanes got to stop.
That's
3
right.
lanes got to stop and let them in. And pretty soon those lanes are jammed.
Yeah. Poor Massachusetts drivers, poor drivers.
Oh, they're terrible. They're not the only bad ones, though. Rhode Island's not a hell of a lot better.
No. You ready for the next suggestion?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Create infrastructure to support shared travel modes.
I know. Put more people in a car, you'd have less cars. Big deal. We've done
Well,
that for years.
also, I think they're talking also about bus lanes and car lanes.
Yep.
Here's a good one. This is wonderful. I mean, they're just going to revolutionize everything. Increase remote work and telecommuting.
Another one.
Yep.
Absolutely.
The heck with the business.
Yeah.
What their demands are or what their needs are. Okay?
I'm waiting for the one you got. I think you're probably going to come up with it, and that's demand pricing.
Here's a good one. Produce more affordable housing, especially near transit.
Oh, sure.
So we should be building more housing here in Norfolk around the parking lots, or within a reasonable distance from the
Yep.
parking lots. Encourage growth in less congested gateway cities. And finally, investigate the feasibility of congestion pricing mechanisms.
That's the one I love. Folks, next time you get the unfortunate experience of driving that Southeast Expressway in the morning and it's 6:30, 7:30 in the morning, and you're out there with 100,000 other people, it seems like. You're going car stop, car stop. Just ask yourself, look around and say, how many people are here because they want to be? They just, I'll just take a drive at this time. They're there because they got to get to work at a certain time and they have to leave at a certain time. They're not there because, I don't care, it doesn't matter how much expensive you make it, they still got to drive it.
So let's stop some of these people from going to Boston. Sure, we've got construction booms in Boston. Well, the carpenters and the plumbers and the pipe fitters and all, they can work from home.
Sure they can.
They don't need to go to Boston for their job.
When's the last time you saw your plumber, your carpenter working from home?
Or doctors. These damn doctors.
Yep.
I mean, they don't have to go to the hospital.
Why can't they do that from home?
Oh, they could operate from home.
If we charge more for them to go to work at that time, they go to work some other time.
Here's the outrage of it all. We paid
Your tax
for
dollars
this
paying for
report
this.
from MassDOT. This could have been done by 4 9-year-olds.
Yeah, maybe 10-year-olds.
In fact, maybe it was. I don't know. This, but it disappears in the paper. Some people look at it. Nobody really looks at it in any depth.
And the Mass DOT guys that wrote this,
They're
so proud of themselves.
Yeah.
Look at, we just solved this.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. And life goes on. Nothing happens because of this. Well, we'll now come to what I think is about one of my favorite stories of all times.
And what's that?
Pounding noises kept coming from the bathroom in a suburban home outside Portland, Oregon. Officers had surrounded the door, and a trained canine panted nearby. This is quite a writer here.
Okay, yep.
The officers unholstered their guns, shouted that they were police, and demanded that the burglary suspect hold up inside, let them in. No response, just more banging. At once, the officers burst in. Then they saw it. A little Roomba robot vacuum stuck in a corner, slamming repeatedly into the shower door. The deputies convulsed in laughter. They were at, what's going on here? Are we being pranked? The call for assistance was no joke. 2 men dialed 911. The sheriff's office said on Facebook to report that someone had broken into a home in the Cedar Hills neighborhood just outside Beaverton. The intruders were locked in the bathroom, the caller said, adding that he could see shadows moving under the door. The 2 men, who were very apologetic, had no idea their nephew owned a Roomba. After the department gleefully recounted the saga on its Facebook page, hundreds of commenters jumped in to laugh at the caller's plight. The police will probably have to replace the Roomba as it was shot 5 times.
Oh, jeepers.
No,
That's the.
I made that up.
Oh, you made that up. That's too bad. That would have been a cool end of the story.
Can you imagine 2 men who share an apartment, hear a banging in their bathroom, and are afraid to go open the door?
I would open the door and see what the hell it was.
Yeah.
You know, so it's probably been an animal, but
Men are not getting manlier.
no, that's for sure.
Honest to God, I don't blame the cops for laughing at him. I would have been hysterical. Now, here's one that I like. A California man, now by the way, this is Wichita, Kansas, was sentenced Friday to 20 years in prison for making bogus emergency calls to authorities across the U.S., including one that led police to fatally shoot a Kansas man following a dispute between two online players over a $1.50 bet in the Call of Duty World War II video game.
Yep.
I won't read you the rest of the story, but this business about swatting,
Swatting, yeah.
it's a fun game for the mentally challenged to call the police and tell them there's some horrible thing going on and watch the SWAT team arrive.
Shots being fired at an address that's usually somebody that you're trying to prank or you're mad at.
Yep. 20 years is not long enough
No, it's not.
for that bozo. By the way, we're getting to the election. And pretty soon we'll have presidential debates, Republicans versus Democrats. So the thought occurred to me,
It's going to be entertaining.
Donna Brazile
Yep.
has now a talking head on, of all places, Fox News.
I know. I said
Yes.
to that the other day. I said to Monica,
So I wondered, has she ever apologized for giving help to Hillary in the debate? By the way, for you folks that don't follow politics quite as closely as we do, Donna Brazile was supposedly the moderator, and she gave answers to Hillary Clinton
Prior
to the
to the-
questions she was going to ask.
so she had previous knowledge. She had her old research. They had all kinds of stats in the back.
Yep.
It was
So-
cheating. So what it was.
It was cheating. And now she's a talking head on Fox News. I don't know. You know, you teach your kids to grow up and be honest, and good things will happen. And honest to Pete, it's sad. Really sad. Have you got another outrage for me?
It's much lighter, but it's just that what we are doing today is crazy, and it says biased teams welcome the class of '84, meaning the book 1984. It's a chilling look inside college systems for reporting and policing offensive speech. Everybody's offended by something, and today it's more and more they actually didn't say anything wrong. There was one case that this past week in USC of an adult education returning. They were business students at night coming back working on MBA. So the instructor's up there at the front. He's doing some stat or something on the board. And he says, well, I'll write this real big for the aging eyes in our audience. Somebody reported him. He said Asian eyes. And he gets called on the carpet for it. And he had to go back and solicit students, all different, get testimonials on his own that he said aging and not Asian. I mean, they were going to kick him out they were going to fire him. It's just, it goes on and on. There's all kinds of examples here. A Minnesota reported a food service worker in the university saying hello in Japanese. Well, that was an insult to somebody.
You gotta be kidding.
No.
I mean, this world of political correctness is finally reached the point where we gotta scrub
In
this
Utah, a
over the
professor got reported for signing too many classic work on economics because they were all written by men. Oh my God, you're biased. You don't like
If
women.
90% of the texts in economics are written by men, how many can possibly be used that are written by women? If it's 90-10 and you're looking for
Yeah.
the best works.
It goes on, and it's just stupid stuff that they interpret things wrong. And that's a big deal, I guess, in the university to get reported.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It says you're not fired, but they bring you before a board. You have to testify. Then you have to prove that you didn't do that, and that's very difficult to prove a negative. This is the same thing here.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. The university said his charger was broken or something. Somebody else said, "Here, use my charger on your computer." And he said, "Well, it don't fit." And he said, "Well, just ram it in there and it'll work." And he says, "Oh no, that's like rape." Whoa! Some girl heard him say that, and that was demeaning rape. And she was terribly insulted. She was so insulted that she couldn't hardly go to class the next day.
Well, at least she didn't wait 18 months.
Yeah, she didn't wait 18 months to file it on him. But it just goes on and on.
By the way, do they identify the woman?
No.
No. She's the victim.
Yeah, she's a victim.
Yeah.
They don't get identified.
Wow. You know, if we identified either no parties or all parties, it would be better than the system they're currently using, which
That's right.
is unfair towards men.
Oh yeah, you're just plain old flat guilty.
Yeah, that's
There's
it.
no question about it.
Your favorite district attorney, Rachel Rollins
Oh,
in
my
Suffolk
God.
County.
Folks, it just proves the adage: be careful who you vote for. They
Boy,
may
I'll
get
tell you.
elected.
Now, this fellow wrote this article for the Globe, a letter, and he's writing this about DA Rachel Rollins. The Globe reported on a case where a man who bashed a young woman's head in while she was walking her dog in the Navy Yard in Charlestown, causing brain injury. Rollins reduced the charge from a felony to a misdemeanor, despite a plea from the victim, because the man had no prior record and had an alleged mental disorder.
The people in, what is that, Suffolk County? Mm-hmm. Should be up in arms. They should be in the streets to get rid of this woman. She is so bad for law enforcement and peace.
It gets worse.
Oh, it does. She's nuts.
The very next day, the Herald reported a Revere man pleading not guilty to larceny charges in Chelsea District Court Wednesday, accused of stealing more than $1,300 worth of quarters from Revere parking meters. Rollins commented, "When an individual misuses their position of trust to take advantage of the community they serve, it diminishes the efforts of all our dedicated public servants. I'm committed to building strong relationships with our municipal and community partners to ensure that every public dollar goes towards its intended purpose." So in other words, she is going to try this guy for stealing the $1,300 in quarters, but yet let the other guy that attacked the woman with a brick
Oh yeah.
and fractured her skull and gave her a brain injury, let him skate.
She has stated up front that she will not prosecute things like shoplifting.
Yeah.
You can go into, as far as she's concerned, it's not a crime. It's open season if you're a vendor, if you're a merchant. Because she won't do that. She's got a whole list of crimes that she will not prosecute.
Yeah, I know it. And assault on a police officer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Well, I'm glad it's their county and
Yeah.
not Norfolk County,
Yeah.
because you elected her, you keep her, you deserve it.
Yeah, you deserve it.
You
I
deserve it.
wonder how government can remove her.
I don't know.
That would be worth knowing, but you know what? They just vote her back in again.
Yeah.
By the way, Dr. Siegel was on Fox Financial yesterday. There's a new blood test for Alzheimer's that is 94% accurate. that will, it
For
identifies,
early diagnosis?
it will designate, it will diagnose those most at risk for developing Alzheimer's and those that have Alzheimer's. And the doctor said that this is going to be a major development, and within 2 years, the test will become standard and you'll be able to get it, a blood test. My wife said she sees things differently than I do. I never would have thought of this, but yeah.
Most wives do.
Yeah.
Mine does too.
She comes up with the darndest things. She said, wow, I wonder how much that will increase the suicide rate.
That's a good point.
Because
That's
if you have this,
and you know there's no cure.
and you know there's no cure,
Yep.
as we know it, and the impending, that knowledge may begin to erode away at your thinking process, and you see everything you do when you make a mistake as, oh God, the Alzheimer is setting in and all that. You start worrying about it, and you say, oh, the hell with it, I'm taking the early way out. I'm not going to become a vegetable.
I could see cases of severe depression resulting from knowing something like this far enough ahead.
But I think the good far outweighs the bad.
Hopefully they can come up with some kind of cure for it.
The doctor also brought up another interesting statistic. He said cereal sales are down 5%. He said people are demanding to eat more healthy. Never mind giving me sugary stuff. Give me fruit or something for breakfast. And he said, that trend is going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Dwayne, are you thinking about going to Disney World anytime soon down Florida?
Yeah, I'd like to go back.
The wait lines
Oh, God, yes.
last week were at 3 hours.
Yep.
Can you imagine going down there? That means you go on 2 rides before you're totally exhausted.
That's right. But I've been there several times.
I have. I've been there twice.
But we've not been there since, well, we don't have any kids home anymore. So the last time we were there, we went with one of Monica's brothers and his family. But we pick times that are out of sync. We never pick something in the summer. Never pick anything over Christmas or Thanksgiving. We like to go. We found that if you went in September, later September, for early October, the kids went back to school, and parents don't want to rip them out of school first 3-4 weeks of school. It was a good time, but the problem was that then you run into maintenance problems there, because that's the time it's a little less busy, and that's the times they're redoing the stuff. You're going to run into that, but that's an easy trade-off. Yeah. You got to be careful now in the wintertime, because everybody's got these damn winter breaks.
Yeah, we called down there and spoke to a very, very helpful young lady and asked when were the slowest times. First week of January.
It was slow, yeah.
That's the slowest week they have. And the week after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, everybody's off on vacation again.
I think I want to say the week before Thanksgiving and the week after Thanksgiving. So those 3 weeks.
Yep.
So that's what we did. We went down, and the lines were short.
Yeah, it was tolerable the last 2 times we've been there. But I've heard the horror stories now. And I don't know if I agree or not that these things where you pay an extra fee to go to the front of the line. That, to me, that's kind of getting to be an elitism.
Yeah. Depends what the fee is.
Yeah.
I
Well,
guess
if it's low enough, then anybody can get it. But if it's high enough, then only a few can. But see, I can't imagine some guy standing in 90-degree heat with 3 screaming kids, and this Mr. and Mrs. Yuppie walk up there with their little pampered one right to the front of the line. Had Mr. Old Joe no neck is not going to reach out and say, "Hey, buddy, I don't care what you paid."
Get behind me.
Yeah.
You know, I can tell you, the last day we were down there, we said to the kids, "This is your day. We'll do any damn thing you want." So Susie had Paul and Patrick, and they wanted to go do some things, and I had Peter. Peter and I went on Splash Mountain nonstop.
Oh, jeez.
We would hit the bottom, the big splash, then get out, walk around the corner, and then right back in line again. We didn't wait more than 5 minutes, 2 minutes. Sometimes we got around the corner and actually just hopped right in the next boat. We must have gone on Splash Mountain 30 times.
It's great.
That's what he wanted to do.
That's what he wanted to do, yep. But it's gotten so big now. I
That
understand.
would never happen again.
You can't see the thing. Disney's objective was to get you there for the week. You spend the whole week there, get you back to the airport, and you go home. And they've achieved that now. Now, see, it's been a long time because we've been there because Animal Kingdom wasn't open yet. It was just being built when we got there. And now there's another one on top of that with this Star Wars or some damn thing. But you can't, 5. You can't hardly do it in a week anymore, just that part.
Yeah.
The first time we went, all that was there was Magic Kingdom. You spent 2 days there.
And Epcot.
Epcot wasn't there the first time.
Okay,
when we
then
went.
that's when I went there.
Okay, Epcot had opened, yeah. But now I understand you go to the airport, you don't have to rent a car or anything else anymore. They got their own transportation from the airport.
Yeah.
They take your bags. They put your bags in your room already. You're all checked in and everything when you get there.
We did that. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
'Cause we used to have
And it was great.
to rent a car,
Oh.
and then the car just sat there all week because it didn't go anyplace anyway.
We talked to somebody. They had a courtesy van that took us, to a couple of places we wanted to go. And we arranged for a taxi to take us to Sonny's Original Pit Barbecue
Oh, geez. Yeah.
in Kissimmee, I think it was. I had to have if I was going down south, I had to have my fix of Sonny's Barbecue.
Don't blame me at all.
Well, I have a question for you. I get 2 different polls. I'll give the kindest poll first.
Okay.
The favorability rating of the U.S. Congress, July 12th, 2019. Approve, 17%. Disapprove, 76%. No opinion, 6%.
Okay.
The previous one had them at 13% favorable. So if we take the 2 polls and average them, it's 15%.
I don't disagree with that at all. I think
Now-
they've become inoperative. All thing they do is fight Trump, and Trump fights somebody else, and then they fight back and forth. And that's the objective when they go to Washington. Hey, I'm going down, particularly in this state. We send some of them Democrats down. I'm going. Yvonne, I don't know her first name, Presley.
Yeah, Yvonne. Yeah,
She's going down to fight.
Ayanna.
I'm going to Congress to fight Trump,
Yeah.
not represent the district or to get some kind of
No.
meaningless.
Not
I'm
rep-
going to fight Trump.
Yeah,
That's
not
what she
do what's
says.
right for the country.
No.
So, my question to you is, all of these Democrats that are screaming at Congress to pass meaningful gun control laws, how can you possibly ask a entity like Congress
True.
with a 17% approval rating, which in other words means we really and truly feel they are a band of selfish nitwits.
Oh, absolutely.
How can we actually expect them to do anything, intelligent or meaningful with a complex issue such as gun control?
You can't. Nothing's going to happen.
Or Social Security reform, or
Medicare.
Medicare reform,
Our infrastructure's
or
falling apart.
infrastructure.
Some of these
people-
interstate highways haven't been fixed since they were built in '53.
According to the American public,
Yep.
these people are not the creme de creme.
No, God
This
no.
is a bunch
Of
of
self-serving-
self-centered. Okay,
Serving,
that's good
self-serving.
too. And they're interested in their power, how much money they can make,
Yep.
and what kind of a retirement they can get,
Exactly.
and nothing else. And it is being reelected. That's the name of the game.
Next time, folks, I got a little thing about your renewable energy is probably not as good as you think it is. How much it costs in ancillary costs to the economy and to the environment to go green.
That's a great topic. I get a couple of green things in here too.
Well, we're gonna-
And so we'll get to that next time. Jeepers, creepers, look at all the stuff we
Oh, we never get to.
No, we never get to this stuff.
When you got a big mouth, we just keep going and going and going.
Friends, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to continue to flood you with information until we get you up to speed where you're terrific. But thanks for
Yep, and we actually
in.
do have good times sometimes. We smile, we laugh, we joke, but sometimes we are serious too.
delirious too.
Delirious also.
Folks, listen, enjoy the weather, enjoy the fall, which is coming quickly, and be prepared. Have good thoughts.
Be nice
And
to one another.
be nice to one another. We have gotten away from being nice to one another. Maybe we need to talk about that too.
That we do. Bye-bye.
So, take care.